management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or Tom at TrentoVision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and TrentoVision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Okay, we're back. Tom Trento here, back in the seat after being away for a couple of days in the fabulous, it ain't your daddy's Washington, D.C. anymore. It's different. It's not like it used to be, but it's still an amazing town. We just have to change the occupants of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and that's the purpose of TrentoVision.tv. On the video side, we have a couple of cameras operating. Wave to the camera, CJ.
Oh.
Are you on there? Yeah.
Am I on?
It's just me. No, it was just me.
Okay.
So you'd have to actually wave to that camera. Your arm is not long enough. No. Mark will wave for you. There you go. CJ, Mark,
Waving is
Mike,
happening.
and a mystery guest. We have a mystery guest here. You can be a mystery guest, too.
Yes.
Just write a check for how much are the mystery guest seats going for nowadays?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you could be a mystery guest for a mere $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000, yeah.
Buy us coffee and donuts, whatever.
No,
We're here.
they have to take us to supper after.
Oh, yes, that's
That's the usual rule.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
Mystery guest. I think we're going to be eating light today with our mystery guest.
Well,
here.
half the people in the room are on a diet,
Yeah,
so.
that's true. Hey, 13 pounds. 13 pounds.
Lucky 13.
The little bulge that was here is going away slowly. Another 20 to go. And if I go at the rate I'm going, by 4th of July, I'll be 43 pounds.
Lighter than you.
No, I'll be a total of 43 pounds. I'm gonna get
In
all new
other
clothes.
words, you'll be too light to serve in the military.
or to stay on the ground with a strong breeze.
Tom, I hate to give you bad news, but it's all water weight.
It's
right
water
now.
weight. Yeah, it's water weight. In any event, we are here, WNN 1470. BBC. We're broadcasting from the BBC in the middle of Europe. Oh, there we go. That's pretty good.
Cool.
Oh, we're broadcasting from the BBC, but not that BBC. This is the Florida BBC. Not the British, but the Beasley Broadcasting Company. Mr. Beasley, how are you today? Fine, Mr. Britain. Here's where we are. We make jihad fun. We deal with very serious issues. If you were here in the past hour listening, we dealt with the fact that chicks, I'm a traditional Italian guy, okay? A woman's place is where?
Is on the front lines in the military.
On the front lines in the military. And we just heard...
Only after she's done baking the cookies.
That's right. We just heard we got a call during the break from Roger Goodell. Who's
Don't think you can't get a break from
Roger Goodell,
making the pasta.
Isn't he the commissioner of the NFL?
The commissioner of the NFL called during the break, Roger Goodell, and he said, man, I'm listening to the show, and what a great idea. I'm going to start an experiment, he said, and I'm going to do it with your team down there, the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to require that they have to have an integration of women on the Miami Dolphin team. He goes, this whole Obama thing about equality and a genderless society, it makes sense, and I'm gonna do that for the Miami Dolphins. So maybe they can recruit some of the women that come back from the front lines in the battlefield.
And
Does that mean that the men will have to be wearing the cheerleader uniforms and being on the sidelines
I don't know
and
if
cheering?
it goes that way. But think about it. I mean,
But why shouldn't it? But why shouldn't it?
Think about this. We have a national football league that has evolved. I mean, if you look at the early guys, they're all like 5'3", 5'4". A 300-pounder 20 years ago was like unheard of.
Exactly.
Right.
And muscles were secondary. I mean, I used to go to football games, and the pros would be smoking cigarettes, while they're sitting on the bench.
And smashing the fifth of Jack.
And they had other jobs, right? Well, it's evolved to the most brutal, biggest, strongest, fastest men out there, and it's our amphitheater, our Circus Maximus, if you will, where brutal sport takes place and people pay a lot of money for that. And you know what? Chicks don't fit into that deal because you got a woman in there. I don't care how bad, how big, how what you are. Can you imagine somebody playing, against the offensive or defensive line?
Look how many lawsuits they have in high schools and colleges over women being able to play integrated sports, right?
Yeah, to take it one step further, Tom, all right? Let's say the commissioner put out an edict where it says, you have to integrate women into the Miami Dolphins. Well, Miami Dolphins says, there's no women who can compete. I mean, honestly, they can't compete. And no.
It's the other way around.
He goes, no, you have to integrate. So therefore, we're going to put, and this is what my point was earlier, you have to have an X amount of people on your team, on the defense and on the offense, who are women. And let's say it's 3. Okay, what positions do you want them to fill? Well, what do you mean, what positions?
I just think it's crazy.
I want them to be on the defense.
That's a great point. People don't realize the United States military is a much more sophisticated entity than an NFL pro team. But this whole experiment won't work on an NFL pro team because there's a requirement of some physical capability. And not just that, there's a mental attitude of beating up the other guy. The military's not beating up the other guy, it's killing the other guy.
Now here's the other point. If you had a Machiavellian idea about wanting to destroy the Miami Dolphins because you just hate them, you would want
Wait, let me get this right. So you don't like football or you don't like this combat sport, you want to change it fundamentally. You want to move forward and become more progressive as a society. What would you do?
Well, if I want to actually get rid of the NFL, I would actually implement a female plan in there and say, hey, this will definitely destroy the Miami Dolphins. I just do not like the Miami Dolphins. If we just put women in this combat position, they won't win a thing for the next 100 years.
Can you imagine how many lawsuits? Because there will be women that will want to test the system.
Right.
And they'll go, I want to be quarterback. Well, you don't have the skills. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Lower the playing field.
That's right.
Let's get everything down to my level, and that's what litigation will do. It'll bring everything down to the lowest common denominator.
And look
that's
at this.
going to happen on the military field.
And look at it this way also.
Like I want to get into law school.
Panetta, you're an idiot, Panetta. Go ahead.
And one more quick point is that if you look at it, as soon as they get into combat, their next natural progression is, hey, I want to be a SEAL. I want to be a Navy SEAL. I want to be the baddest of the football players. I want to be on the all-star football team. And it's like, what are you talking about? You can't even get on the regular squad. Now you want to be on the all-star?
The elite, yeah, you want to play in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm a woman. I'm in a combat position. You're just discriminating against me because I'm a woman. And that's where it's going.
Grand plan.
And it's going to destroy the whole military.
Now you during the break, CJ, you were talking about the social implication of all of this. What was your thought that way?
Well, I think it just like I said earlier, it just furthers the cultural agenda of blurring the distinction between the genders and making everything equal that isn't equal and making everybody the same who isn't the same. And the whole design is really the end game for this is to destroy the family. The way the family is currently defined. That is the goal.
And you got a good point. Is that, Tom? How many awards for participation did you get growing in high school? I mean, you only got awards if you did something great. You only got a trophy if you won. The exceptionalism of the individualism is what our country is based on, not the commonality of the masses. That has never been America.
Bars being lowered. Okay, no. This is the new left. This is
and it's a political payback. It's a political payback for the current election, and it's a future pay for the midterms and for 2016.
No, and we have to stop using the term progressive because progressive has sort of a positive connotation to it. And we're buying right into the lexicon of the liberal, the hardcore socialist liberals. They don't want the term liberal. They don't want the term socialist. They certainly don't want that. So they use this term progressive. We really got to stop using that. These are not progressive people. They're moving us backwards, basically. We've elevated the United States to an exceptional country. They got to bring it down because some people don't want to work hard anymore.
Well, we're not even going backwards because a lot of things were better and made more sense when you go backwards in time.
Oh, yeah, if you jump over the...
Well, it actually is progressive. It's progressive mediocrity is what it is. Yeah. So, in this progressive mediocrity campaign that we've been...
it's not even mediocre, though. I mean, if it were just mediocre, I could almost live with it.
No, it's destructive.
Okay, but it's
culturally destructive.
That's the design, to completely destroy the culture.
And this is where our area of specialty, the Muslim Brotherhood and Islamic Jihad, the Mujahideen, this is where they do their analysis and say, oh my God, America has given us this huge Achilles where they are self-destructing that which has made them great. Let's go over there and assist them. To do that, though, we're going to have to... I could see Mohammed 10 years ago. We're going to have to get inside the White House. Oh, Mohammed, how crazy can you be? What do you mean, Mohammed? Well, Mohammed, we can never get into the White House. Oh, we have to, Mohammed. And now Mohammed and his buddies are in the White House. They have infiltrated the White House. And you know what it's time for? A cup of Organogold.
Oh, man, I sure wish I had some.
Organogold.
I sure wish I had some.
How the hell do you get that stuff? Where is it?
How do you get that stuff? I keep asking you.
We have a sponsor of our show, Organogold. We always talk about it, but we never tell anybody how they can get it. It's at times like this, when we're analyzing the demise of this country that is so great, the greatest. Some years back, I was in Vietnam.
The Vietnam.
And I was coming back from a trip, and I was there for 2 weeks doing a documentary project.
Who were you with, Tom?
I was with some interesting folks, some of the original SEALs, Navy SEALs, and
they were integrated fully with women.
Right. Demi Moore was with us, right? We flew back from Vietnam through Hong Kong and landed at LAX, and I did what I had seen I was only over there that trip. I was only over there for a couple of weeks, and all that stuff you see in the movies when you get out of the airplane, I kissed the ground. But when I was walking in LAX, I'm getting goosebumps right now. And I have been in a few other countries, but they had a gigantic American flag hanging in the customs area, and they had a big sign, Americans this row, everyone else that row. And I saw that sign, and I said, this is the greatest country on the face of the earth.
I've had that experience, too.
And it was so good being back. And even when we go to Europe and come back from Europe, it's always great to be back. Well, this country is changing, and this anti-colonialist, Barack Hussein Obama, I don't understand. Well, we do understand intellectually. We don't understand how so many Americans, like evangelical Christians, can be asleep and not vote on November 6th. And we tried, folks. We tried to wake you out of your slumber, out of your spiritual death, whatever, I mean, I can't even pull the words out. For Christians that simply did not get up and vote. 2 million Christians, about 1 million Catholic Christians and 1 million Protestant Christians did not vote in the state of Florida. How do we know that? Well, there's a thing called a census, okay? Tells you how many citizens, how many have clicked the little, marked the box that says Catholic or Protestant Christian, how many are registered to vote. All this stuff is there. We did all of our work, and we knew what the numbers were. And about 2 million of you, and you know who you are, You did not vote, and now you have a leader there. Now, would Mitt Romney have been infinitely better? Yes, because he wasn't committed to the demise of the United States of America. And his philosophical understanding of America wasn't that it was a bad country, a nasty country that needed to be put into place. It was that it was a great country. And sadly, he only has a few $1 million more than who, Mark?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
John Kerry.
Yeah.
John Kerry and also Mitt Romney, the comparative dollar figure amounts, $230 million with John Kerry.
What?
$230 million.
John Kerry, who's going to be the Secretary of State, is worth $230 million?
Right. Now, that doesn't
count as wife's money.
That doesn't include the Heinz, who has, what's...
Heinz ketchup.
But what's his wife's name?
Teresa.
Doesn't include Teresa's $500 million to $1 billion. We really don't know what her net worth is, but we know it's at least $500 million to $1 billion.
What a friggin' phony.
Yeah.
And now here's the other interesting factoid about John Kerry's wealth. When he ran as president,
that's right.
We know how much money he had then, which was $130 million.
Yeah, that was back in 2004.
So it's between 2004 and in the last 10 years. And in the last 10 years,
things have gotten worse.
Yeah, because we bought the new Kerry iPhone or iPad, and he just got multi-millions. Or what? How did he get that extra $100 million?
I think he invented Post-its.
He invented Post-its. Or he helped Al Gore. He helped Al Gore build the internet.
Or he invested in Heinz ketchup. See, these people are
Or he's the
phonies.
private investor behind Al Gore's era, maybe.
Yeah.
That's why. And look, we're right now. What are we doing? Tom Trento, CJ Mark. We're furious over this new decision by Leon Panetta, Secretary of Defense, outgoing Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, of course he does it on his way out, so he doesn't have to defend it to anybody.
Yeah. Got a new guy coming in, Chuck Hagel. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is all of this stuff has nothing with a real serious effort to improve the United States military. It's a political move to create a genderless society. I don't know why Leon Panetta, a good Italian guy, would want a genderless society.
Because he's a party man first before he's a man.
Yep. He's a party man. And
that's the other good point. This is all in an effort to demasculinize, to feminize men.
Castrate
men. Of course they have to, because I hate to tell you guys, but you are the source of all the evil in the world.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're a man and you're Caucasian and you're American or Western, then you are responsible for absolutely everything that is wrong with the world today. Nobody else, just you guys. Yeah, so we have to make sure, the rest of us, all of us have to make sure that you have absolutely no power whatsoever.
I made this point the other day to myself, but I'll share it with you guys. I wrote an email to somebody talking about why we do what we do. And I said,
because we're insane.
I said, it's really kind of stupid if you look at it. We put ourselves in as a target, fighting the left, fighting President Obama, fighting the jihad. It would be so much easier to simply say, we make nothing now.
Yeah.
Right? We exist. It'd be so much easier to say, let's do the Obama thing.
Yeah.
Let's go over to their side. We have marketable skills that if we
would make a fortune.
If we went on that side.
I used to make a fortune. Tom.
If we went on that side, if we went on that side and just did party organizing, community organizing, organizing unions, just did that whole thing for President Obama, got on the dole, got our checks, got whatever, worked on the side, we would be making money. We'd be with the mainstream of what's going on. There'd be no death threats, none of that kind of craziness. Life would be nice. Why don't we do that?
We don't have to go that far.
Maybe we could do furloughs or something.
Furlough, yeah.
We don't even have to go that far. All we have to do, we don't have to go out to the left Obama to start supporting him. We just have to okay, you know what? We don't want to deal with any of this politics. We want to deal with any of this stuff. We'll just forget it. That's Washington. That's so far beyond me. I'm just going to be a network engineer. That's all. I just want to build computer networks, and that's all I want to do. I'll make as much money as I can and just put all that little chaff behind me. but we don't.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, there's a good question for you, Tom.
Yes.
Okay, you were asking us in the last hour if we could live anywhere in the United States, what city would we live in? Okay, if you could do any job you wanted to in the United States besides the one that you're currently doing, what would you do? What would you be if you had to grow up?
The President of the United States.
Okay, you would have to actually work for that.
No, I got Caesars. You think he's got Caesars now? I'd have a few of those guys.
No, I would not want to be president of the United States.
No, I was originally headed into the FBI.
Mm-hmm. They wouldn't take you now.
As a little kid, I always had this sense of justice, and I did studies in that area and was going that way, and then became a born-again Christian, and my life changed dramatically. In fact, when I moved to Florida, a few years back, I was still, and I had come out of an activism background, I was still young enough to go into the Bureau, and I made an appointment to go down to Miami to take another shot or take a look at things. And I thought it through, and for a couple of reasons I couldn't do it. So I didn't do it. But I would go into the... essentially what we're doing now, but doing it for the government, intelligence work of some sort, or law enforcement. That's what I always enjoyed.
Well, they wouldn't have you, Tom.
Well, yeah, besides the point. But now, that's because I'm wired a particular way. I'm
saying if you're sitting it out.
Oh.
If you're sitting it out,
I'd like to
Mark is saying, you know what? I'm going to sit out this whole mess. I'm not going to worry about national security. I don't care what's happening in Washington with the budget.
Okay.
I don't care if the economy goes down the tubes.
I got it. I want to be the guy on one of the big cruise ships that looks out for nuclear attacks. Okay, I want a little office on the front, and I'll warn everybody when there's a nuclear attack.
Speaking of warnings,
so that's what I want to do. Just
Russia warned Israel and the West yesterday. Don't attack Iran.
Is there still a Russia? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The foreign minister gave his annual press conference yesterday.
His annual press conference. The bear is raising its head.
Yeah, because they're listening to them over there in Syria so seriously.
Where's my glasses? Oh, here they are.
Yeah, there.
Okay, it's 27 minutes past 4 o'clock. TrentoVision.tv. That's if you'd like to watch all of this. We're not set up yet, I think. I tried the other day to get it on the iPhone. I know I get it sometimes.
Oh, the Trento Vision?
Yeah. Are we going to make an app? Are we doing anything like that? Or how's that work if people want to watch it on their iPhone?
Well, if we have a little donation to Trento Vision, we can actually make that app.
And that donation should be
in the amount of?
Just make the donation.
Yeah, make $1,000. $1,000 going once, going twice. You can donate, or you can contact me, Tom, at TrentoVision.tv. If you're interested in advertising your product, your goods, whatever you have, we can help you out with that. We have all kinds of... we have the video set up, Mike, for really clean dishes. You got to get that. We got to get that. We got a new computer.
I also did ask them yesterday.
Yes.
To send the video in a different format because apparently it's so difficult to bring up every time that we have to bring it up and play it.
Okay.
So I said, give us a good picture graphic that we can put up on the screen.
This is us. But all right, really clean dishes.
Yes, but you can go to reallycleandishes.com.
Okay, and
check that out, and it's just these little additive capsules, additive tablets that you add to your dishwashing cycle, and it works with your dishwashing detergent to make sure that your cutlery and your glasses come out spotless.
So you can advertise with us, or you can donate. TrentoVision.tv. We appreciate that. We're here to make life very difficult for Mr. Obama.
And Mr. Boehner, too, apparently.
Mr. Boehner, we're going to deal with him in a second. But our job, and the reason why we do this is we still live our lives by ethical principles. We have a clear understanding of what is right and what is wrong. And we're willing to put ourselves out there to argue these issues, to debate these issues. We're open-minded enough If you think we're wrong somewhere, fine. 888-565-1470. We don't bite. I guess...
Unless you like it that way.
Yeah. I guess ideologically we may nip at you a little bit, but we don't hate Muslims. We don't hate leftists. We hate the ideologies that you may hold that are destructive to the United States Constitution and to freedom and liberty and beauty and life and enjoyment and happiness. And we will fight to our dying breath to see that you don't get control of things. But guess what? You are in control of things. So now will be the thorn in the side of the socialist liberals of this president to wake people up. And you Christians better wake up, because the answer to the salvation, the political salvation of America, is in the hands of the Protestant, Bible-believing Christians who are not voting. You're reneging and you're remiss on your moral obligation to participate in this republic. You've been entrusted with a say in how things work. When you don't participate on Election Day, shut your friggin' mouth and don't complain, okay? Because if you're not going to put a little skin in the game, shut up and get out of the way. You're just clogging things up. Go read your Bible, and you'll figure that out.
Yeah, wait,
all right.
and wait for the end of times.
Yeah, that's a good way to live while other people are dying all over the place. So, and one of the places people are dying is in Capitol Hill, where I was yesterday. I'm a registered Republican, and we've talked seriously here about third parties for the sake of stimulating the Republicans to get back into shape. I don't know, man. The way things are going with Boehner and these guys there, and we're not political dummies. We're politically astute. We understand that everything isn't black and white, but we also understand that at some point, when you say 5 times, Mr. Obama, I'm drawing the line right here, and he steps over the line, he goes, okay, I'm redrawing the line right here now. And Obama steps over it. Well, okay. This time I'm drawing the line right here, and Obama, smoking a cigarette, steps right over it. What is this all about, John Boehner? What is going on?
Yeah, raising the debt ceiling once again. What a bunch of wusses.
Oh, but just till May 19th.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we're just raising it temporarily for another 90 days. What a bunch of wusses. No backbone whatsoever. Get rid of him and put someone else in there. It gets just so, frustrating.
Well, let's sketch this out for everybody.
Yeah, explain what it means.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain requirements for the Senate involved in this, no?
Yeah. Well, we'll make this simple because it is complex, and I certainly am not an expert in all of these details, but we have enough expertise to understand how the body politic works. The USS United States has so many holes in it, it's going to sink at some point, okay? The question is simply, how deeply will it sink? How many people will drown? How uncomfortable will it be? It's going down. It cannot sustain the amount of water it is taking in and causing it, with all the holes it has, causing it to slowly sink. So the issue is there some magical way that we can do something in the future that maybe somebody discovers, that happens somehow, that fixes the boat overnight and it doesn't sink? And that's about how tangible a lot of the future thinking is, switching the metaphor, kicking the can down the road to deal with all the holes and the incoming water that's causing the boat to go under. Everybody on their watch is afraid to say, you know what, we gotta just make a decision right now that's going to let this thing sink a bit, and it's going to hurt. We got to just do that. And nobody wants to do that because there's political consequences to that, particularly when the other party is just coming into power and says, you guys are causing the boat to sink. It's a misunderstanding of it's a perception that isn't accurate, that the Republicans, if they hold the line and say, guess what? we're not allowing you to raise the debt ceiling so you can pump more water into the boat and it can sink more. It's a perception that it would be the Republicans' part. But those guys control the narrative now.
Well, what I don't understand is why does it fall on the House Republicans in the first place anyway, when it's the Senate Democrats who haven't passed a budget in how many years?
Okay, good question.
So how does that work?
There hasn't been a budget from Obama. There has never
4
been.
4 years, something like 4 years.
Yeah.
5 years. 5 years. Obama has not given a budget for the United States. And yet, nobody's talking about that. I mean, we hear, no, like it's no big deal. Oh, who cares?
Well, again, we're simplifying this. 888-565-1470 if you want to talk about the debt ceiling and the crisis and all of that. We're simplifying it because very few people understand this stuff. But some of the significant thinking on both sides of the aisle is that a balanced budget, thus a balanced budget amendment, would be disastrous for the United States. Some Keynesian economists believe that you should not have a balanced budget. You can't operate within a certain framework because if you do that and you have to cut spending at a particular place to meet the budget, you may cut it at the wrong time at the wrong place that causes millions of people to lose their jobs.
Unintended consequences.
Yeah, there's lots of businesses that are run that way in America, where they don't have a budget. They don't worry about the bottom line whatsoever, and they don't
negative externalities.
Yeah,
but because from the beginning, but most states, almost every state in the union, operates with a balanced budget amendment on their constitution. Now, there's always exceptions.
But they have the federal government to fall back on when they're short on Medicaid and education and road building and transportation and everything else. So that's where they get their money from.
And the real irony is you and you. Are you, Mike? You with us over there? You.
Yeah, thumbs up if you're with us.
We're all not only expected but required to live within our budget, or lawsuits are filed.
Or we get lots of nasty phone calls.
Yeah. Now, could we file a lawsuit against the United States government for not staying within its budget and wasting tax money? That would be an interesting little deal.
Well, that would be a pretty sweet class action lawsuit, wouldn't it?
I think there's laws against doing that. But,
yeah.
But really, what's coming down in Congress right now, remember the fiscal cliff was going to be December 31st?
Right.
That can got kicked to yesterday, down the road, switching the metaphor.
Yeah.
And what was said yesterday, and a vote was taken, I think there was 30 or 32 Republican Congress people, Michelle Bachmann, who's becoming more and more a hero of mine.
Yes.
She voted against removing the law that prohibited the debt ceiling from raising. So it wasn't we're voting for the debt ceiling. It's we're giving this postponement, and during this postponement, if somebody wants to raise the debt ceiling like the president, he's allowed to do that now. And the whole idea was there was a showdown at the OK Corral. Obama and Boehner. And Obama's sitting there with a smirk with his cowboy hat. Boehner with his shaky hands with his gun like this. And I'm going to get you. And Obama said, take your best shot, dude. And the deal was very simple. If Boehner would have led the House, majority run by Republicans, to say, we're not giving you any more time. It's 1 for 1. $1 in revenue, $1 in debt. That's going to be cut. It's going to be an equal thing. The fear would have been that we would have gone off this fiscal cliff, and the most immediate response would have been a downgrade in the rating of our government, that it's not sound anymore, the bond rating of the U.S. government, which then would have led the markets to start going down, which led Europe to go down. You have this whole crash
It's the exact
thing.
same thinking that happened at the
Same thing.
under Bush way back when everybody's saying, "Oh, no, we need to borrow trillions of dollars and we have to rush it through Congress because oh my God, they're
Yep, same thing. And if all the leaders would have gotten together and said, "Folks, we got to make these cuts," but this is a political game. This is a political game for the next 20, 30 years of who runs the United States of America. And Obama's in a perfect position to sit there like this and say, take your best shot.
Yeah.
And Boehner said, oh, damn, and dropped the gun. I'm going to give you 90 more days, Obama.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
And I really mean it.
Let's say they could agree that they were going to do, that they were going to make the cuts.
Right.
Okay? They don't agree on what the cuts are. The Republicans don't want to make the cuts because when you make the cuts, when you take something away, you lose votes from somewhere. You don't gain votes.
Well, maybe a couple of people are going to have to drown in this sinking boat as opposed to the whole boat going down.
Well, maybe we just need to push their heads under the water for them.
Well, we're going to watch this very carefully over the next 90 days. We're going to have a special segment. Each day we'll do a little bit of Congress Watch. We think people want to know about this information.
Yeah,
so
we're going to economy school.
We're gonna bring you a little bit, and we'll make it simple. We'll make the fiscal cliff. We'll make drowning in the USS United States fun. But maybe who's on? Is it Valanda?
Valanda.
Oh, Valanda. Hello, I'm back. Tom. Hello, I missed you, Valanda. And CJ
he didn't even say that to me. I hope you're happy, Valanda.
CJ, you've been holding down the fort, girl.
That's right. She's done a great job.
Well, I'm just a schlub over here. I thank you.
Holding down the fort like it's a military fort.
But listen, Tom, I got a serious question for you when you were in Washington, D.C. The behavior of the congressman, right now, believe it or not, you talk about budget. Right now, I don't even have cable, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I happened to be listening at a session of Congress, and I'm serious now. How many of those politicians, congressmen right now, for that matter, even senators, are compromised, say morally or what have you? Because a lot of the behavior, particularly on Boehner's part, I'm sorry, I'm just going to be out with it. You know me. I have a feeling that he's compromised a lot. And the way he acts with Obama and the way he acts in public, his facial expressions, there's just something that doesn't sit right with me. Now, maybe that's female intuition or what have you, as you guys were talking about earlier. But it's just something that doesn't sit right with me. This whole debt ceiling power play right here. Something's just not right. And I don't understand the members recently allowing him to remain, and I heard Peter Feynman when he was hosting, why they allowed him to remain in the leadership. They said it wasn't the right time to remove him. And I'm saying, well, when is the right time?
When is the right time? Yeah, after you lose the biggest election?
Yeah, he is absolutely, he's a nightmare right now. And given his actions, his volatility, he's given me nothing to hang a hat on or even a shawl on. He can't be trusted. It's as simple as that. Did you hear anything? Were there any rumors circulating in Washington anywhere when you were up there about this?
Yes, there are rumors, and some folks have said they've been substantiated. I don't know. I haven't checked them out in particular, but the folks that communicated the information to me are very sound individuals, very politically aware of what's going on. That he likes the ladies. He likes to stray from his wife, so to speak.
What?
Yeah.
You're not actually saying something like that about somebody.
Yeah,
you cannot talk about those things about people. That's not right.
It's beyond speculation, and I'm in an email chain with people that are very close, and calling it the question, whether or not that's impacting some of this bad decision making.
Oh, so he's been compromised in some way, are you thinking?
That's what some key economic experts who from Washington have been thinking, because it's very, very bizarre what's going on. I haven't substantiated, but the people that I'm dealing with are pretty sound people, because the whole thing is strange, the way this is happening. All right, we're going to do this, and it changes and changes and changes. Did you see that little run-up the other day with the president and Michelle and Boehner when she rolled her eyes?
Yeah, what was that all? But they had a lip reader come on. I missed that. What was that lip reader all?
It was kind of innocuous. It was nothing serious. What happened is they're sitting. Michelle's between. Barack is to her right. Boehner's to her left. They're at the little cocktail party right after the coronation. And he speaks to Obama, he being Boehner, behind her back, and then he taps her on the shoulder and says something, and she rolls her eyes like this. Oh, God, this guy's such an idiot, right?
She's a vicious witch, Tom. To be quite honest with you, I have some impressions about her. My own mother, before she passed, got a whiff of her, and she said, you guys, if you vote those two people in office, trust me, they're going to be nightmares. My mom said this 6 years ago, before she passed away. And we're living through the nightmare right now.
Well, yeah, I know. I agree with you on that. We've done a lot of investigation into her background, which nobody knows. It's not too hard to investigate. There's nothing there, okay? You can't get her records and all of that. But this situation that occurred on Monday, they had the lip reader come in, and what it was, Boehner half-jokingly, because Boehner's a chain smoker. I've been with him, right? I've been in places with him where he's smoking. And he tapped Obama on the back and said, hey, did you catch a cigarette outside before we came in here? Right? Mm-hmm. And then he tapped on her shoulder, you letting the guy smoke? Something like that. And she went, because that's a... But if you notice, during the coronation, when he got out of the car and they went into the viewing tower, he was chewing his Nicorette gum, they said, because he's still a big, I couldn't care less if he smokes, but I guess it's not a good role model. But no, Boehner is, he also likes to drink. I know that for a fact. I've had drinks with him. Most of those guys do in Washington. So, but let's just evaluate him for his decision making. And he keeps. From what I listened to, Tom,
when I was listening at the hearings, the only a few people that what stood out to me was Rand Paul, and he made no. To be honest with you, I gained a measure of respect for him like I've never had when he talked to the Secretary of State the way she deserved to be talked. Because she really, to me, with all due respect, she really she got my dander up when she said, "What does it matter?" I'm thinking 4 lives, maybe even more, that they haven't told the public about. And when she said that, if I was within distance of her, I think I would have choked. I would have grabbed and choked.
Now. Well, you need to listen. You need to listen into the next hour, because we're going to camp on some of the implications of what she said yesterday, particularly as it relates to her running for president in 2016. But thanks, Valanda. I'm going to let you go now. We got to close up with a few items. But Hillary is next for sure. Yeah, Rand Paul. A lot of people are talking about him.
Yeah, you got to have a little buyer beware on Rand Paul. I'm not. Yeah, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree on this one, and that's the.
He's positioning himself.
That's
if
right.
I were president,
he goes. But I like a lot of what Rand Paul, and I liked a lot of what Ron Paul said. But you get past Ron Paul's surface, you're like,
But let's get back to Boehner. We all know that Washington D.C. is, you just cut deals left and right, and there's compromise and all of that. But when there's a consistent pattern of saying, this is it, I am going to hold the line right here. If you remember, I had a run-in with those guys I think it was the end of 2011, when the issue was with Alan West. I got in a little battle with Alan West. The issue was debt ceiling again. It was the debt ceiling issue.
When he bailed,
And the Republicans had all organized, all the freshmen and everyone, that they're going to hold firm. They weren't going to, and Boehner went and started picking them off one by one. And he showed them that movie of the driver in the car. Come on, who wants to drive? It was some psychological murder mystery thriller. And at one scene, the guy goes, where are we going? Somebody's going to get hurt, but I need a driver. Okay, I'll drive the car. And Boehner showed the House members that little 2-minute brief, that little trailer, and Michelle and a whole bunch of people were fighting Boehner, and Alan was fighting Boehner. After that movie was shown, Boehner went up to Alan, and Alan said, not only will I jump in the car, but I will drive the car for you. So Alan flipped on holding firm not to vote with Boehner for the debt ceiling to be increased. And then I wrote some stuff, and we sent out a bunch of emails, and it became a little battle in the press. One of Alan's friends and constituents I was trying to hold him accountable for what he said he would do. He caved at that last moment. And the world wouldn't end. I was involved. I was one of the people that ran one of Newt Gingrich's Contract with America congressional races. I ran one out of California, and we heard the same stuff about reforming welfare, that there'll be millions of people, the babies will be in the street, and we knew that was going to be crazy. That's the rhetoric from the other side, and we implemented the policies in the first 100 days, the 10 different pieces, got it through, and I was actually doing some radio stuff after that, and as it started working, guess who claimed credit for all of it? Guess who the president was at that time?
It was Clinton.
He claimed credit for welfare reform. He fought us on every single way. That's what's happening now. But Boehner keeps collapsing when he says, this is it, here's the line. So what is Obama going to do? He's got
What's
nothing to lose.
What's the point of having a majority if you don't use it to win your own battles?
And
I don't get that.
And here's
at
the
all.
point: is compromise in Washington means not compromising with the Republicans. It never has been. Not even when.
Good point. Thank you very much.
When Reagan was in power, it's never compromising with Republicans. It's always how can you compromise with the Democrats? Mm-hmm. How can you compromise your values to bring the Democrats to your side?
Right.
Never has been, and now it's on steroids.
It's on steroids.
Yeah.
And this is driving. We're doing work with Tea Party people.
Yeah.
And one of the beautiful elements of the prototypical Tea Party member is a clarity of vision. All the BS, they just see right through it.
Yeah.
They go, come on, guys, just run the government simply, all this nonsense and cutting deals. And what Boehner did, this is just stupid. They said, we're giving you 90 days, but if you don't, speaking to the Senate, if you don't get us a balanced budget, we're withholding your pay. Even though the 27th Amendment says we can't do that.
Right.
We're withholding your pay. And it was just a corny gimmick.
It was stupid.
Yeah, stupid.
It's reduced the lofty positioning of the United States government.
Can the members repeal their vote for him as leader?
I don't know if the House rules allow that at this point. I don't know how that works. That's a good question.
And it also, we saw yesterday in the Senate hearings, or the other day in the Senate hearings, with all these people coming up there and just bloviating on for 5 minutes about who they are. I mean, it's all about them. It's not about the country. It's about making myself look good, and it's always been a problem. And he found that on the other side. It's how can I make a political 2-minute statement which will get on Fox or in CNN, and that's just
well, especially now when the other side's so unified. And we're so fragmented, everybody's looking at a sense of personal survival. Like, I got my career here. And, let me tell you about Panetta real quickly. Why would Panetta, I raised the rhetorical question, why would Panetta cave?
Yeah.
Panetta is 70 years old or whatever, 69, 70.
I'm out of here.
I'm
out of here, yeah.
No, he's not out of here. He's got 10 years of sitting on boards.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
See, I'm out of here
but he gets on the boards by Obama telling a company, put this guy on your board.
Of course,
And he gets $250,000. He doesn't have to go to any meeting for being on that board. And he's going on Solandra, if we had one. He's going on that board. He's my guy. He saved me. He's going on these 4 boards.
He's going to make $25 million the way Kerry made 100.
Yep, and that's because Obama now can place him wherever he wants to, and he played good little Italian guy.
Yep, he's checking out. He's saying, I'm checking out. I'm going to go sit back and
get
my
with it.
Yeah, and then give me my $25,000.
I'll sit there with the generals who won't say jihad to their troops.
Folks, we need a revolution of thinking in America. No weapons, none of that. We can win at the ballot box. That's where it takes place. No, Mark, no Sharia. Give us maybe the real answer.
The Tea Party community.
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
TeaPartyCommunity.com. It's actually growing beyond all expectations right now. It's actually just been in beta testing for the last few months. and hoping to get like a couple thousand, 2,000 or 3,000 people up now. It's already over 30,000. And this is just in beta testing.
Without trying.
We haven't even done a hard release on it or a big marketing campaign. Nothing. Just by word of mouth, it's over 30,000.
That's amazing.
TeaPartyCommunity.com. Go check it out. We're going to do the official launch on February 2nd between 5 and 7 p.m. and we're going to have a really great show, and that's on a Saturday. So
February 2nd. So we got to go right now, but on February 2nd, Saturday, between 5 and 7, we're going to launch Tea Party Community. We'll tell them what that's about. But right now, we got to launch ourselves, and I have to be launched to the bathroom.
I'll beat you.
I'll fight you for the door.
Thanks for tuning in to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free.